January and February 2025 offer great opportunities for observing planets, with most visible in the night sky. Mercury is the exception, remaining difficult to spot. The other planets Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune can all be observed, making this an exciting time for stargazing enthusiasts. The year began with some remarkable sights. Venus appeared near the crescent moon on January 3rd, and Mars had a close encounter with the full moon on January 13th. Venus and Saturn have been moving closer to each other, reaching their closest proximity on January 18th. They remain visible together in the early evening sky, providing a stunning view. While the term planetary alignment is often used, it's important to understand that it refers to the planets appearing roughly along an imaginary line called the ecliptic. This line represents the path of the Sun across the sky, which is shared by the planets due to their formation from a flat disk of gas and dust around the Sun. Such alignments are natural and predictable, but they still offer a beautiful sight for observers. During this period, around 7 p.m. in January, you can spot several planets in specific parts of the sky. Mars will be visible in the east, Jupiter in the southeast, and Venus and Saturn close together in the southwest. Jupiter, positioned above the Orion constellation, is easy to locate. Venus stands out as a bright object in the twilight sky, while Mars, having reached opposition on January 16, appears bright and high above. For those with access to telescopes or dark skies, Uranus and Neptune are also visible. Uranus can be found to the right of Jupiter, forming a triangle with Jupiter and the Pleiades star cluster. Neptune, which requires a telescope, shares the same region of the sky as Venus and Saturn, but becomes less visible as January ends. Many sources have mentioned January 21st as the best day to observe this alignment, but the planets' positions remain similar before and after this date. However, from January 21st onward, the moon's brightness decreases as it wanes, rising later in the night. By the end of the month, the moon becomes a thin crescent visible only in the early morning. As February begins, the alignment continues, though increasing daylight and the planets' lower positions make viewing more challenging. The early days of February still offer excellent opportunities to see these planets. On February 1st, Venus, Saturn, and Neptune will be grouped near a thin crescent moon, which will be only 12% illuminated. Venus and Saturn can be seen with the naked eye, while Neptune requires binoculars or a telescope. As February progresses, Neptune becomes harder to observe due to its decreasing altitude and longer daylight hours. On February 9th, Mars will appear near the moon, creating another notable event for observers. Later in the month, on February 24th, Mars changes its direction of movement in the sky, transitioning from westward to eastward motion. Although Mars dims toward the end of February, it remains high in the southwest sky around 10:30 p.m. Jupiter continues to be a bright and prominent feature in February's night sky. A particularly beautiful sight occurs on February 6th, when Jupiter appears close to the moon, positioned to the moon's left. Both objects will set in the early hours of February 7th. The lengthening days of mid-March will make the planets increasingly difficult to observe, so take advantage of the clear winter nights while you can. Step outside, look up, and enjoy the incredible display of our solar system. Which planet are you most excited to spot in this celestial event? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on stargazing and astronomy.